See, there's something within us that wants to leave a legacy. But here's the thing you need to know is if God asks you to do something, don't look at the size of the job, look at the size of your God who asked you to do it. See, he laid down his life for you, so that tells me that you are not worthless, you are worthy. And this is what he wants to rewrite into your story. That reality impacts everything.
Well, welcome everyone to week 2 of Rewriting Christmas. I'm super excited to have you with us and in a small group unpacking this week's message a little bit. This week we talked about joy. And when we think about joy, a lot of us think about a lot of different things. Some of us think of kind of cozying up next to the fire. That brings us a little bit of joy, or a great cup of coffee, or the perfect gift. All these kind of different things. It could be just the smile or the laughter from a child that brings you joy. My wife, she was cracking up this last week watching this video. All of a sudden I hear her laughing on the couch beside me, and I'm like, what are you watching? And she's like, a T-Rex surfing, and she goes, it brings me such joy. And now this is like silly slapstick humor, but maybe this will bring you joy as well. So check this out. So I don't know if that brings you joy or not, but it sure brings my wife joy, that silly slapstick humor of just watching people fall down. But this week we were talking about what is real kind of biblical kingdom joy look like, and what does it carry? In Isaiah chapter 9, we looked at this passage where he starts unpacking and the people are going to rejoice, and they're going to have joy, and their joy is going to increase. And in that, he gives kind of 3 illustrations that give us an idea of what joy carries with it. And we covered these things, that it carries with it satisfaction, kind of satisfaction for your soul. It carries abundance of gladness in your heart. It carries victory for your life. Now, I don't know about you, but as you hear even me kind of reiterate those ideas of joy, those concepts of joy, maybe you're sitting there going, I need joy that carries those attributes. And then Jesus made this really phenomenal statement in John chapter 15, verse 11. Let me just read it to you. It says this, I've told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete or filled up to the full. So Jesus has told them something in the context of this verse where he says, listen, I've told you this so that my joy, my gladness is going to be in you, and your gladness of heart is going to be complete. Now, I'd love to know what that context was. And then we talked a little bit about that. He's talking about this idea of abiding, which was this word about being with him, that if we abide with Jesus and allow his word to abide within us, to work within us, and to abide in his love, ultimately, walking in obedience is the result which produces joy. And I think all of us would say, that's what I want for my life. I think about my own life, about how when I've walked with Jesus, when I have had these moments of intense struggle, maybe it's just a sin that I continually have fallen to time and time again, disappointment in my life, and I'm frustrated with how I'm handling or how I'm responding to life. What has brought me through that has been this idea of as I walk closer with Jesus and I allow his word to work in my life and I live in just the love and the grace that he offers, it always produces the same thing. It produces obedience, and that always produces joy on the other side. It's that joy of I just had victory over something that I've continually struggled with time and time again. Maybe instead of exploding in anger, this time I responded with peace. And when that happens for the first time, you're like, oh my word, I have such joy. It's kingdom joy that we're talking about. And so for you guys in your small groups, as you dive into your conversations today, here's a couple questions just to consider. Share with one another. Where do you currently lack joy in your life? And maybe consider this one. Which of those 3 attributes that joy carries do you need most right now in your life? Do you need to carry in your life right now? So enjoy your conversations, enjoy that as you talk about joy. And I pray that the joy of Jesus just kind of brings something fresh and new into your lives this week. Be blessed. We'll see you guys next week.